Yes, hello, and well, let me see if I'm going live first, because we know how this has been towards my last two streams. I pressed the button to go live, but I didn't go live. But it looks like today will be a good day, because we actually go live, and I pressed the button to go live. That is insane. That is actually insane, guys. So let me actually pop out the chat. I forgot to do this. So let me pop out this chat, and then we are off. So, wait, not yet. I have to show the chat. Sorry, I forgot to set this up. I've been setting the entire stream up, of course, as I usually do. As I usually just do, I set up the stream beforehand. I forgot to pop out the chat. My apologies for that. But yes, we are underway now, and let me share my screen as we are doing this stream. Well, let's see here. There we go. And by the way, it's a bit cold in here, so I'm wearing this. Hope you don't mind. Anyhow, is my screen being shared? Yes, perfect. Before we get into the actual subject matter of the stream, we have some applications to fill out, right? So I'm looking for work, guys, and obviously we could apply here, can't we? So we will do this first. There we go. Before we get into anything, we're going to apply as the manager for England. That will be terrific, won't it? Jesus fucking Christ, England is so cooked. And look at this. We can apply to become a midfielder at Manchester City. I will go for wages as low as 10k. 10k a week. That's all I want. 10k a week, and I'll be a Manchester City midfielder. I'll give cover for Rodri. I won't be good at it, but I'll do it. And this isn't loading, so okay, enough joking around. And I didn't know you were looking for work. Have you considered applying for the Belgium job? No, but I should absolutely think about that. Maybe I will. But yes, let's stop joking around here. Let's get into the subject matter of the stream itself. So, I've set up a few different tactical boards. I will get into each one of them, but this is just the starting 11 I'm expecting for, let's say, it's the average starting 11, right, in this season. And well, you could argue some of these, like you could argue Savio or Doku, because I don't actually think that they will be playing constantly. You could argue whatever this is. I'll get into that later. But there's a few things that you could argue here. But there's also a question that I would like to raise as we start off the stream here, and that is concerning the box midfield. Will we see a box midfield again next season? And I think that's where we probably best start off. I'm not sure, because we have seen a box midfield 2 seasons in a row. One season it won us the treble. The other season we were completely terrible. And of course I'm talking about a season where we won the 4-peat, but let's not fool ourselves here. We were terrible in that season. We were just tactically outmatched, and we got by the skin of our teeth because our individual players stepped up when we had to. So is the box midfield making a return? Possibly. But what we have learned is that the box midfield is very dependent on 3 different players. Those players are John Stones, Rodri, and whoever is going to play in this forward role. And let me get into that. So, Rodri, I believe, is quite obvious why he is so crucial. It is because we don't have a fucking second DM, is it now? So, yeah, I think that's quite obvious. Why are we so dependent on Rodri? We don't have a second defensive midfielder. We probably sort that out. No matter what system we will play, we need a Rodri backup. So okay, who's the second player that we are dependent on? John Stones. And why are we dependent on John Stones here? It's actually quite simple. It is because John Stones plays in the box midfield. He creates the box midfield. And he's the only player that we have that can do that. Or is he? And I am going to show you guys how I believe we can still keep playing under this box midfield. Although I believe that it is very likely we will return to a 4-3-3 shape. But I want to play with a box midfield because I like the system. So this entire stream will cover how we play with a box midfield. Is this starting 11 the most likely with Gvardiol and Diaz both starting? I'm not sure. Because there is a problem, there is a big problem with this starting 11. And maybe let me get straight into that problem. So we will go... Actually no. Before we get into that problem actually, let's talk about defending. This won't take long. Just a few seconds. We defend in a 4-4-1-1. Why do we defend in a 4-1-1 or 4-4-1-1? Because that works. We have defended like this since the treble season really, and I do not see a reason why we will not defend like this again. Doku's work rate has improved significantly. Savio's work rate remains to be seen, but of course you can always stitch on Grealish on this side. If you're not sure about Doku or Savio, we stitch on Grealish, isn't it? It's that simple. So I do believe we are going to go with a 4-4-1-1 when defending. We have done it in the treble season. We did it last season. I see no reason why we changed this system. It has worked. We have been great defensively, except for individual errors. But technically, we have been great defensively. I see no reason to change the system. So, with that said, let's go into the issue of this starting 11 here. And it's really a defensive one. And, well, this might not make a lot of sense here, but basically, these lines are where players have to go back into when they return to a defensive position. And now, what's the problem here? Obviously, okay, no problem. Savio, no problem. The problem originates with Rodri and Diaz. Let me not take that away. With Rodri and Diaz. And Diaz, in this system, will be shoved onto a right centre back position. Now, do you want Diaz as the right centre back when he usually plays as left centre back? I personally don't think so. And Rodri, you see here is the normal path you would expect Rodri to go. Just straight down. But that is where Foden is supposed to be. So now Rodri has to be here. He doesn't walk in a straight line anymore. And wait, how does this problem even arise in the first place? Well, it arises from having Gvardiol step into the box midfield to, well, create the box midfield. And it isn't a problem when Gvardiol goes into his left back position, but Ake is a left back in this system. So that is a minor problem you do create. Why do I not care about it? I trust in Diaz, his ability to play as a right-sided centre back. I think Diaz can play as a right-sided centre back very comfortably. I don't believe it will be that big of a problem. As for Rodri, the entire point of a box midfield is we slow down counter-attacks. I do not believe Rodri has to be back in position at max speed. I don't think it's necessary. So, with that said, this is a problem that we have to think about. I do not think it's a major problem, and I think there are multiple ways to fix it. But now I'm getting ahead of myself. And this is really the main meat of the video. This makes no fucking sense if you do not know what this is. So, let me explain this. Obviously, all our players are on the pitch right now in this system, I suppose that I will call it. This is a crude system though. Ortega and Ederson, obviously, our goalkeepers. So, Ederson will play some games, Ortega will play some games, right? But okay, what do any of these circles really mean? Well, these circles represent the positions that I expect players to play in. So, Savio on the left, and Grealish, Doku and Silva on the right. But you see there's a blue circle here. And why is that? Because I expect Savio to play on the right or on the left. I expect Bob to play on the left or the right. This blue circle just means either one of the two wings. I expect to see Grealish both here and here. Maybe I expect to see Silva only on this right wing position, so I should probably give him a circle of his own, but we don't care. We don't care. Bernardo Silva is a special case. So I expect all of the wingers, except for Bernardo Silva, as I just said, to play on both sides of the pitch, because that will help us so much. And how will it help us? When you have wingers that you can just swap wings mid-game, to if they're struggling to get past their fullbacks, they can just swap mid-game, have a different fullback to go up against, can have more joy maybe. So having wingers that can swap wing, that really helps out. Now, this yellow, what does this yellow mean? This yellow is the attacking midfielder, I suppose. I guess Foden is less of an attacking midfielder and more of a holding midfielder, but I consider him an attacking midfielder. And as you can see, I think Oscar Bob plays as both a winger and as a midfielder this season. How is that going to work out? Well, I believe that Oscar Bob will not have a lot of minutes this season outside of cups, unless we just shove him in to wherever we can. So let's say Foden needs rest. Okay, we use Oscar de Bob. Let's say Savio needs rest and Grealish is being rested as well. Okay, we pop on Oscar de Bob. It's that simple. So Oscar de Bob is going to be a utility player. Whenever we have plugs, as long as it's like in the forwards half, I even expect him to play as a false 9 if we really need to. But I doubt that will happen. Whenever we need Oscar de Bob in the forwards lines, I think we can just plug him in for the game, for the 60 minutes, for 30 minutes, however long we need him, right? So that is what Oscar de Bob's role would be. Now, there's an orange circle represents defensive midfield role, so Rodri's role. Lewis I expect to play in Rodri's role, but I also expect him to play right back, and this is where it gets really exciting. Because our forwards line, we don't have a problem with that. We have 4, potentially 5 if you'd like to argue, wingers now. And I am very happy about that. We have Foden, De Bruyne, Bob and Kovacic, as you can see here, who could potentially play in that forwards role. We have Haaland and Alvarez, who I suppose you can drop Alvarez in midfield, but please God do not do that. So we have a lot of options in this forwards line. It gets really interesting when we get to these players. So let's talk about that. We assume in this stream that Manchester City has made all their transfers already and there's no new signings coming in. So how do we cover Rodri when we haven't made our signings? And this is how I believe we will do it. Rico Lewis playing as the Rodri backup, or as the Rodri cover, whatever you call it. But not solely as Rodri's cover, also as a right back. I'm expecting Rico Lewis to get a lot of minutes next season. I'm expecting him to probably play in 25 games with maybe 10 starts. And that is a big step up from where he is now. Now that is a complete guess, I could be wrong, but it's an educated guess. And why do I think he will play like this? Walker, you know my opinion on Walker, so I'm not gonna get into that fiasco. And the problem with Akanji on right back is Akanji's pace. Rico Lewis is faster than Akanji, not by a lot to be fair, but he is that little bit faster than Akanji. He lacks the physicality though. So if we're going up against a winger like Vinicius Jr., I think Rico Lewis is probably better than Akanji. And again, I don't like Walker. Last season Walker really pissed me off. I think I'll put it that way. So if we need someone to play against Vinicius Jr., I reckon Rico Lewis does the job. Now, so that's for Rico Lewis. Rodri, of course, is playing his defensive midfield role. You can always push him up into this higher position. I doubt it will happen. I really doubt that will happen. And then, central backs. We really don't need to talk about central backs. Like, come on. We have central backs for days. Akanji can play central back. Diaz, Gvardiol, Ake, John Stones, if he's somewhere in here. For some reason, I didn't give him the white circle, but you get the point. We have central backs for the days. We do not need to worry about that. So, instead, I'm not going to talk a lot about centre backs. I'm going to skip Kovacic for now because I want to get back to him at the last. And I'm going to go to the left backs. So, left backs. Ake and Gvardiol. What do I really need to say? Ake, amazing as a left back. He didn't play a lot last season due to circumstance. The circumstance being John Stones is made of fucking glass, and we needed somebody to play in Pep's very weird fullbacks are now wingers system. We are not seeing a return of that. I do not believe we see that again next season. I believe we see a change back to something more similar to the treble season, but with more explosive wingers. And probably more crossing too, as Savio and Doku can both put in some good crosses. So with that said, the left back that we would have this season will be defensively minded again. Which means a return for Ake into his more favourable position. And Ake can of course always play as a centre back if needed. For example, Diaz needs rest or whatever. So, left back, we are sorted. Gvardiol can play on left back if we need him to. I doubt he will, but if you need him to, you put him on left back. And then, lastly, the John Stones law. And that's maybe the most interesting here, because this makes or breaks the box midfield system after all. How do you get to that box midfield? Because if you go to our defensive shape, look at this defensive shape. Does this look... What does this look like? It's a back four. Now you look at how we look when we go forward. Well, that is maybe not a good example. It's a back three. Why? Because somebody, a defender, has to step up and create the box midfield. I believe, and this might be a bit crazy, John Stones, okay, everyone is expecting that. Gvardiol, okay, nobody is surprised by that. And Mateo Kovacic. I believe Mateo Kovacic is going to start playing in a John Stones role. And let me explain why. And I think I will go back over here to explain why. So currently we have Gvardiol in this John Stones role. Okay, let's say Gvardiol needs a rest, okay? Let's say that. We plug in Kovacic. And let's say Rodri needs a rest, so we plug in Lewis. And what have we done? We have taken out an inexperienced player and an experienced player. We have replaced them with an inexperienced player and an experienced player. Okay, so that's just basics. That's nothing special. The more important question is, can Kovacic play as a centre back while also doing the John Stones role, which is pretty much stepping up, becoming an 8. Now, obviously, he can be an 8 because he's an 8. Kovacic is an 8. It's that simple, isn't it? So, the real question is, can Kovacic play comfortably as a centre back? And what do you really need to play in this John Stones role? And let me go back over here. In the John Stones role, you need to be good on the ball, you need to be defensively solid, you need to be able to carry the ball forwards, as John Stones has done many times before, and you need to be calm under the pressure. You need to be consistent, and maybe most importantly, you need to be always aware of your surroundings. Just awareness. And I believe Kovacic checks out on all of those. I think Kovacic has every skill that you need for that John Stones role. Which means we will be seeing, and let me do this away. Which means we could potentially see this season Kovacic as a box defender. Will he be able to do that task? I believe there is a chance. Now, this is some wild prediction, but the reason I predict this is because Pep always pulls out something nobody expected. Nobody expected John Stones to become a midfielder. Nobody expected a defender to become a midfielder. Who is going to expect a midfielder to become a defender? This is my wild prediction. this is my wild prediction for the season. Which, I don't know exactly how good he will be at it, Kovacic. But this really makes Kovacic the utility player of the team. And I really should have given Rodri the orange circle as well. But I'll get into why I didn't give him that orange circle. So, for those who just joined the stream, let me explain again what these circles mean. These circles represent the positions that a player will play in this season. So, orange circle is the Rodri role. And why do I not think Kovacic is going to play this Rodri role? It's because I do not believe he is needed there. I believe Rico Lewis is better at it. Rodri is still going to play most games. And now, I said earlier in the stream that we're gonna assume that Manchester City has already made all their transfers. Actually, I lied. I'm a liar. There is one more player that I think should come into Manchester City to really make everything work. And that's where I think the stream comes full circle and where we can close off then. This is the last topic for today. And I just saw the chat coming in. You are on crack. Well, thank you, Rosa. Very insightful of you. Yes, I am on crack. But well, do tell me, Rosa, because you're in here in streams all the time. And you have a very good eye for talent, yes? So, tell me, Rosa, how likely do you think it is that Kovacic can put in good performances as a box defender, as a box centre back? Just tell me. Do you think he will play as a... Well, he will probably play on the right, won't he? He will probably play like this. It doesn't matter. Just tell me, how do you think Kovacic will do? Because I know you have a good eye for talent. Who is this mystery player though? And why do I want him? Mainly I want him because I don't want Kovacic playing as Rodri's cover. This mystery player, because I want Kovacic to play other roles. This mystery player is one of two players. It is Perón, Maxime Perón, or Maximo Perón. Actually, what is his name? Is it Maxime Perón or is it Maximo Perón? Yeah, Maximo Perón. It's either him or it's Bruno Guimaraes. We are still in for Bruno. And let me drink. You are still in for Bruno Guimaraes. So, we don't want to pay 100 million, but you are still in for him. Maximo Perón, sorry. He is our player. He is our player already. So, if we get him, he played unknown to Las Palmas. I watched him for 3 games or 4 games, something like that. Not a lot. I haven't seen a lot of him. But there are a lot of people who think he can actually do this role. And I just thought, there are a lot of people who think that Perón can do this role. I have no idea, yeah. Well, I personally think he can do it. Like, you're saying I'm on crack, but I personally believe in Kovacic that he can do it. Now, I know it's out there, and I totally agree with you that it's just out of nowhere. But I believe Pep Guardiola always pulls things out of thin air. So you kind of have to expect the unexpectable. Which is what I'm doing with this prediction surrounding Kovacic. But yeah. Maximo Perón. I'll just round this up with Maximo Perón. I do not know how good he is. A lot of people, a lot of streamers always like to talk about new players potentially coming to their team. And, oh yeah, he's so great, he can do this, he can do that. I do not know how good he is. I did not watch Perón play. And you didn't either, probably. And all the streamers that are hyping him up probably didn't either. I don't know why there is suddenly this hype around Perón. It's mainly on Twitter, to be fair, but none of you have watched him play. Like, let's be honest. We have not watched him play. Let's be honest here. If you have watched Perón play, I'm very amazed. I really do not think he can handle Rodri's role in his first season as a Manchester City player. I could be wrong on that, but I mean, I've been wrong before, haven't I? But Perron really not the most attractive of players that we could be getting here. And with that said, I think we've talked about pretty much everything that there is to talk about. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it really. So we can end the stream there. Thank you guys for sticking along with me throughout the stream here and listening to my rambling about things. We had 3 viewers in at at most points of the stream, so that's not good. But I mean, my watch-alongs do better. But I guess this is not as exciting as a watch-along. Anyhow, thank you for watching to the end. If you liked the video, like and subscribe as always. And if you're watching this on replay, tell me down below in the comments if you liked this stream, what you're agreeing with, disagreeing with, and mainly what you think about my Kovacic prediction. And I'll also ask a question to anyone who has actually seen Maximo Perron play. How good is he, do you think? Honest opinion. How good is Maximo Perron? If you have watched him play consistently last season. And do you think he can do Rodri's job? And that's where I'll leave the video. Or the stream, should I say. Thank you for watching to the end. I'll see you guys on the next one. Much love and bye bye.